Morning, beautiful. Great to see you here. It is lovely to be out here with you. Let me show you some of the back garden. I'll start by showing you day, because it's just like that. And it's calm and it's cool and it's autumn. Really, this feels like autumn now, or fall, depending on what you call it. And it is my favourite time of year. And look at this, where does the garden stop and the flowers begin? Because they're both in the garden and on the lawn. And I like this, even with, stuff in the background. Good morning, Mike. We have Johnson's blue and we have clover because the lawn hasn't been mowed for a while. And that's not a bad thing when it's dry, right? The grass stresses because of the porina grass grub which eats the roots, and it's fine when there's lots of water, but when there's not, it stresses. So, we don't mow it. There are the late roses. There's a few of them still. Good morning, beautiful beings, Andrew and Carrie. And I think that's you, Sandy. And if it's not you, Sandy, it will be later. So hello, everybody. Whether I know you or not, it's great to see you. Look at the roses. There's always a few. You get the main flush in November here in New Zealand, and then you get bits. Oh, look, close up. There we are. So, what else have we got? We have hydrangeas, which really are aging now. There's still some that are pretty blue and fresh. Not sharply in focus, though. There you are. Now you can really see. And I do enjoy these. And they get old, and the aging itself is fabulous. Look at this one closely. You get past the fact that the flower has finished, and then you start to see the designs and the detail and the contrast, and I love that about these. And I don't deadhead them for a long time, in part because I like it, and also because it helps to shade the ground, which you need. So we have New Zealand Hebes. These ones are common as muck. They grow everywhere wild, but that doesn't mean they aren't beautiful. So there they are, and they just keep going, which is also nice. And there's the ginkgo. And we have some rather desiccated Japanese anemones here. But still, they flower, and we're getting little bits of rain, so it's not as dry as it was, but it's still quite challenging for a plant that really likes more water. The ghost plant is coming back. You can see I pruned it, but look at all the new growth. Just, you have to do this. And all of this rots down, the sticks, they lose all the vegetation comes off them, and then the sticks go in the compost heap. We're exactly where I need them. So everything has its place in the garden, and look, there are all of the nerines, if I get my shadow out of the way, in the circle garden. So it's beautiful. And I think I'm just going to enjoy that view with you for a little minute. I think it's probably the best time of year in the circle garden. You've got the brown foliage of the babiana has a purple flower in spring, but it just marks the circle, and then you've got all of these naked ladies. That's the other name we have for them. So today, Technique Tuesday, right? And I wanted to talk about a how-to, and I was thinking, well, what how-to am I going to do? Because the thing is, the challenge that I face, and this is also why I ask for pain points, right? And I should expand it to say, tell me if there's something you want to know how to do, as in, if there's a technique that you think I can help you with. Because what I know how to do for myself is often so second nature to me that I don't even know that I know it. It's unconscious, it's hardwired, it's an automatic program that just runs when the appropriate circumstances come along for me to benefit from using that program. So if there's something that you think you'd like to know how to do and you think I might have an idea about it, please do ask me, because, I'll probably remember something that I've forgotten that I know. So when I was thinking about this last night, my thought that came to me is, of course, something that I've done recently, but it's something that I take for granted because I just do it. And it is this whole thing of having a feeling come up, generally an unpleasant one, and you play with it and you poke at it, and you realise after not too long that playing with it and poking at it isn't doing anything, and you think, well, this is going nowhere. And I know, because I know myself, that if I keep on playing and poking with it, I'm going to feel worse and worse and worse over time, because remember, that's what happens. You keep thinking the thought, you're going to keep feeling the feeling, the chemistry is going to get stronger in your body, and it just carries on. And, and it's probably a feeling that you've had 50 times before. These kinds of things are. They just keep being triggered by something and you don't understand it. And you've done all the thinking and, the work and the whatever. And you think, what? Why is this still in my face? What is this really about, right? When you get to that point, this is what I'm talking about. So I had that happen... Probably, the time I'm thinking of, it was Friday or Saturday, I can't even remember which day. But something was just screaming at me. And I was reacting to a particular stimulus in my environment and feeling like, as I felt thousands of times before, because I know it's thousands, because I know how long I've been feeling this way, I thought, oh God, I need to change this. This is a problem. This is a bad thing. This is an issue. And I thought the same thoughts about what I needed to do to change it. I had the same feeling inside me that wasn't what I needed to do. So I was in this very familiar stymied situation of seeing a problem, quote unquote, not thinking what I think and knowing what I know about what I would do to do something to change it. And then knowing in my soul of souls that isn't right, but feeling completely stymied because I don't know what else to do. Linda, good morning! And I guess I know from experience that when I'm banging my head against that kind of repeating brick wall, it means that the reason why it doesn't feel true to me, the reason why it doesn't feel right, I don't get the inner tick that says, yes, do that, is because I'm not really perceiving and understanding what the real issue is. So, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor for this. I can't see the forest for the trees. I'm trying to make the one person go away when there's a crowd, or I'm trying to push the door down when in fact there is another door that I need to go through and it's open, but I can't see it. That sort of situation. That is my experience over and over and over many years working with myself and with people, that when you feel like you're stuck like this and you just can't figure it out, and remember, you figure things out with what's in your brain, which is all from your past, and it's a box and it's whatever you know, and the solution you seek probably isn't there, and that's why you can't figure it out, because there's nothing inside your head to figure it out with. You need something else, but you can't access it, and so you go round and round and round knowing that you haven't got the thing that you want because it doesn't feel right, but you don't know what else to do. And sooner or later, when you get desperate enough, when you get into survival enough, unless you're really aware, you will flip into doing what you know more and harder, because that's what you do when you're running away from a lion. And then you will look back on it and think, oh shit, I wish I hadn't done that. Most of us have done that too. So how do you get out of that bind? So the day, whenever it was that this happened, I had some time, and you do need time, okay? There is no substitute for taking time to be with your unpleasant experiences and feelings. And this might seem like a contradiction given what I talked about yesterday, but it's not. Stay with me. Because yesterday I said I do not personally subscribe to this whole thing of going into your shadows and learning through trauma, and trauma happens and we learn from it, but not for the rest of your freaking life. There has to be more to it than that. So that particular day I had unpleasant feelings, and I actually very consciously chose to take some time, because I had time. And this is what I do. I think on my feet. No kidding. I'm walking around as I'm talking to you. And I was walking around in my house and quietly speaking out loud to myself what I was really feeling. Because in all the time that I've been banging my head in survival, in fear, in reaction, in kind of phobia against this thing, I was so busy saying, I have to bang this brick wall down now. I have to bang this brick wall down now. That I was obsessing about the brick wall, right? But I never was able to see the gate, which was there. And what I realised was, and I did this by speaking things out loud. And you can write, okay? Some people journal. For me, that's not what I like to do because it means I have to sit still and write. For some people, they write, they journal. But for me, and you can try this, when you speak your thoughts out loud, you know as soon as you say them if they feel true for you. And you may wish heartily that what you're saying to yourself is true. And you will know in your heart and in your soul that it is not. And you can't deny this. Now, how does that work? Because you say the thing, and as you say the thing, there's a vibration in your voice, there's a resonance in your body, and if you're willing to hear it, your body will give you the feedback to your words. And if there's a discrepancy between what you are saying, which is an expression of what you're thinking, I need to do this, or this is true for me. I feel this about this thing. No, I don't actually. I feel something else about it. But what is that? Is it this? Is it that? And you try things out like you're in a costume shop, trying on costumes until one fit. And that was literally what I did on Friday. And what I discovered as I did that was that the trigger in my environment, which has been extremely difficult for me for years, was actually firing up something in me that wasn't even in this lifetime. And it was about people and societies and beings making choices that I would consider bad. And the memory that came to me is something I haven't remembered for a very long time, and it came actually the next day in meditation, so I'm kind of mixing 2 days into one, but it's easier for the sake of telling the story. In this memory, I am sitting in something like a control room, and I'm an extraterrestrial, I'm not human, and I'm watching from out in space at a planet as the civilization on that planet destroys itself. Kaboom! And in the original memory, that was traumatic, and it was a trauma that echoed to me through time. And what happened the next day, because I recognise, and this is about this situation, that civilization that I as caretaker had watched and guarded and nurtured for however long, because, that's who I was, had made a choice. And I didn't agree with the choice, and I was traumatised because I thought that I had failed and it was my responsibility that I'd failed and there was something wrong with me because they'd made that choice. And it ripped me to pieces in that memory. And what happened and I didn't actually remember that on Friday, but I remember the thing about, oh my goodness, I am reacting to the choice that this person is making over and over again, and I'm threatened by it because I think that it means something about what's going to happen to me in my future, but that's just me predicting, and that's not actually true, that's just my fears. But hang on, I feel like it's an insult to all the effort that I've put in to helping them. Hold the phone. They've got free will. Who the hell am I to say they should choose anything, right? Tom, it's lovely to see you. Nikki, yay! And it was this big, I realised that on the Friday night. So the Saturday I went into meditation with the idea that I was going to get rid of, deal with, face up to, overcome this need to have people and things that I cared about do what I thought was best. Because who the hell am I to tell them? And who are we to say what's right and wrong when in the whole span of eternity we all make every choice and we all have every experience? And, our own civilization, depending on who you read and, tra-la-la, this is my understanding, feels true to me. See, it feels true to me. Our own civilization has imploded a number of times. And this time, we haven't. And we're not going to, because we made a different choice. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is just what I find and feel and live to be true. And so, as I overcame that feeling, the whole thing changed. I think I mentioned this, I can't remember. Might have been in the Heartfield that I mentioned this experience. And instead of being traumatised, the self that was watching out the control room window at this globe, this civilization that just exploded, destroyed itself, melted down, done, finished, don't want to move on, want to stay in whatever it is that we're doing, and, we're done, we're going to have to come back again. Sounds like reincarnation to me. And it was like, oh, all right, well, that was an interesting movie. Let's go to bed. It was literally like this self, the whole thing changed, and it was kind of a yawn and a stretch. Well, that's done now. They made a choice. So that's the story around what I'm talking about. But to realise that I was first making a judgment about what was right for somebody else, and I was in fear about what it might mean to me. Paul, it's gorgeous to see you. And that was what was locking me into my own into that box, right? There's the brick wall. I got to batter this brick wall down. But actually the gate was, I'm not responsible for other people's actions and choices. And that was what I realised, speaking my truth to myself quietly as I walked around the house and in the dark. I mean, there were lights on, but enough to see by, but, mostly in the dark, because I like thinking in the dark. So you notice that I'm setting this up for myself so it works for me. I cannot lie to myself when I speak things out loud. I know immediately, so I think, is it this? Is it that? Do I feel this? I know it as soon as I say it. And I think it's different when you journal and when you write things down. I'm not saying that isn't bad. After every meditation, I have something that I need to write down. Sometimes it takes me 20 minutes because so much has happened. I am not against journaling. But if you want to find your truth, the moment you say what you think it might be, you will know if it's true or not. So you really just have to make a choice that you're going to listen to yourself. And you may have to shut yourself in the small room and, sit there or stand there while you do it. If your house is crazy or if you can't get away, you just have to make the space to tune in to your truth. But this, for me, is a fast hack, and I can do this with my eyes open. I can always do this. What do I feel about this? Is this really what I believe? What is pissing me off about this so much? Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. No, it's not blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a little bit. No, you're close, but no, you're not there. And it's like I can give myself a feedback. And I remember, this is something else. I had this really powerful download in a meditation. It was about time. And when I came out of the meditation, the awareness that I had was time and I are one. And I thought, what? Huh? I knew that there was a packet of something inside that, but I couldn't unpack it because it had to sit in me and do its thing, and and I just knew that there was more to it than that. I didn't understand it. But there was some profound shift in me. Nikita, shock me. There was some profound shift in me about time. She's probably snarling at a cat. Oh yes. Excuse me. I'm going to have to do something. The cats tease her, you see. So I'll just, make the cat go away. Go on, cat. Shoo. Yes, go home so the dog won't lose the plot. Right. So, now the distraction's gone. So, where was I? Time. So the next day, I had an opportunity for a short walking meditation. Just, no music, no nothing, but I had about 45 minutes. And on my way to the place where I do the walking meditation, I was just thinking, what is the deal with that? And I was sounding it out. And I literally, whatever it was, I said blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, not that. No. Closer. Time is my dimension choosing device. Time, the way I perceive time now, time is not a resource. Time cannot run out. Time does not allow. Time is not a linear thing at all. This is huge. I get it about time. I've got time. I've got time to explain this to you because I'm still in 3D. It was a massive thing. And there's this picture in my head which I will try to explain. If you imagine a point, right? And out of that point come infinite rays of light. And each one of those rays of light, if you take it far enough and put it through a projector, will take you to a different experience, a different dimension, a different time, a different place, a different whatever. And they're all there. Everything, the whole of eternity. That point in the middle of all of that, that's time. It's the choosing place. And how do I choose? With my awareness, with my frequency. That's how I choose which of those rays of light I'm going to travel on to that dimension. That was a massive thing. And it came to me because I was walking along, because I think well on my feet, sounding out my truth. And when that landed, I got the picture, I got the awareness. I was just walking along the street. I was like, oh, I get it. So that's how it works for me. It's funny, I'm standing here, my hands are prickling just thinking about it. It was a powerful realization. Because when you realize that time is your dimension chooser and it cannot run out because it is not a resource, that was a big thing for me. Not chasing time, there's no time to chase. Time is just a thing. And I choose it with my frequency and my awareness. It was massive. It was really big for me. Because there's been a lot of lack in me about time. And it's just erased it somehow. It's different. So, literally, examples from my life about how speaking my truth and allowing myself to kind of have a conversation, a feedback that says, no, that's not true. This is closer. No, that really isn't what I want. But there's some truth in this. It's too simple. But I had to work that out. And maybe it's new to you. Or maybe you've done it and forgotten about it. You know, you get so busy thinking about things in your head, trying to work it out. Stop trying to work it out and feel your way towards it. And that's how I do it. Now, it's Tuesday. In 3.5 hours, I'll be back with an update from our Sangmarie in the Gambia. He is now on location in... Oh, God, he told me. Jim Labomdo. I can't remember the name. It's a long, lovely, beautiful-sounding African name. Out in the sticks, right? Fortunately, with good internet connection. So I've got a great update coming in from him. It's all happening. He's on his 6-week practical. I'd love to join with you then. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Big love. Bye-bye.